Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live here at the Voice of College Football, Notre Dame, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. We are back for another episode. And I am your host, Ryan Fravel, with my co-host Sean at Indy Forever on Twitter. Ben again cannot join us. He will be returning to the show next month. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So it'll be me and Sean here holding things down for a little bit longer. So we are back. Got a lot of transfer portal news to get into. Ironically enough, 30 minutes ago before the show started, had some other big portal news breaks. So we'll get into all of that as Sean figures out how he's can get off black screen for a second. Anyways.
I had to retweet and do all that,
Anyways.
We got big news. I didn't see it.
We do. I guess we'll just start off there. Former class of 2023 Notre Dame commit, Keon Keeley. I'm sure Notre Dame fans know and remember that name very vividly. A guy that was a 5-star edge, number one edge player in the class of 2023. Originally committed to Notre Dame, then later flipped to Alabama. It was because of money. Alabama offered him money at the time. So he's one of the most notable Notre Dame late flips, so I guess you would call it. He has entered the transfer portal with 3 years of eligibility remaining. After 2 years at Alabama, he is the number 8 edge in the transfer portal, the number 44 overall player. He will be officially visiting Notre Dame tomorrow, according to Tom Loy. So, Sean, thoughts on this news? Are we happy? Do we like it? We welcome Keon Keeley back with open arms, or is there still some slightness you feel for what happened 2 years ago?
That's wild. I mean, who would have thought 2 years ago, whatever? Like, he was like, it's so funny because you remember the recruitment, how he was like the most vocal person in that class.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last few months, he got like more quiet, right? And he flipped out of nowhere. That and Peyton Bowen are like the Dante Moore a little bit, but he was silent. But those two were like the big ones. Were like, oh, we felt it.
Keon Keeley.
I mean, if it took 2 years for you to develop at Alabama, and then you want to come be with Marcus Freeman, I mean, I get it. So
Keon Keeley, he's up there with Peyton Bowen and Deuce Knight for kind of those. That's like the trinity of guys that late flipped from Notre Dame that were all 5-star caliber. So, but again, are you've moved past everything?
Yeah, open arms. Okay. Come to Notre Dame if you can be good. Question is, does he start? Maybe it's going to be he rotates with Bubakor starting on one side, and he'll probably rotate until Bubakor leaves.
It's interesting because I know there was some online chatter that of possibly the staff kicking Bryce Young and Christopher Burgess inside more this next season, which I guess it makes sense. You've made Bryce Young put on 20 pounds.
Is Bryce Young good enough to play? I mean, I'm sorry. Is like, I don't know if he can. That feels weird? He feels like edge to me. Like, I don't know how to feel about him moving inside.
He's got the weight now to be. He's got the weight to be an inside rush end. So he's not going to be playing like 3-tech or not 3-tech. He's not going to be playing nose. He's going to be interior end. So I think he can do it. That's what his dad was known for. That's what his dad's Hall of Fame career was based on. So he's got the pedigree. You made him put on 20 pounds in the offseason. You need more depth on the interior. Your edge room is kind of set. So, I mean, I don't mind it. You're getting their best players on the field. I think he's good enough to do it. So I do think it's interesting because you have another edge who visited today and John Henry Daly, who is the number 2 edge in the portal. It's interesting. If you get those two, your edge room is insane. So then obviously it would be smart to maybe put Bryce Young so you can still get him on the field, kick him inside. You kick Christopher Burgess inside, which I think that was already kind of the plan when we recruited him because he was kind of a tweener in between that interior end and an edge. So he could play either. But Keelan Keeley definitely adds an extra element to this. He hasn't been the most productive so far. Hasn't seen the field a lot. His past season at Alabama recorded 16 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks as a rotational guy. So, yeah, I mean, I'm opening him with open arms. We need a lot of defensive line help. But it's interesting. I don't know if he starts, so to speak.
Well, we lose Burnham, and that's a big hit.
I think Burnham left because he wasn't going to start. So,
we need a guy that can rotate, though. And does Keeley do it for 1 year, have 2 years of eligibility, and then come back and start next year? That's what I would do. I love the idea of that. But then if you move Young inside, who starts opposite of Bubakor?
Well, and not just Keeley, but you also have another guy we'll get into, another edge who visited today, in Jalen Thompson from Michigan State, who was very productive at Michigan State, but he was kind of the guy that you looked at as who would be the rotational guy that Burnham was going to be. He's got similar production to Burnham, but he's obviously not.
How many years of eligibility?
Who, for Thompson or Keeley?
Burnham had 1. Thompson.
Burnham had 1. Thompson, I believe, has 1 or 2. So, while we're talking about it, I'll just put up some of his tape here. But yeah, so he was an interior. He was like a interior end guy at Michigan State. Very explosive, very good in the run game. Just not very consistent, really, all the time. So, what do you think about Jalen Thompson? You think you would like to add him, or are you kind of good if you can get Keon Keeley and Daly?
I'm at the point where I will take anybody and anything for this defensive line. I'm just being straight up. It could be the Cookie Monster, and I'm fine. Like, I will take anybody and anything and how many. I don't care, to be honest. That's the point. I think he'd be nice as a rotational piece. He's got talent, even though he's inconsistent, like you said. But we need the depth. We lost a lot of depth.
Yeah.
I have a big worry for this defensive line this year.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say it's very hard with the guys that Notre Dame has brought in for visits. It's very hard to find tape for a lot of them. So I like Jalen Thompson. I think he can be a good rotational.
Remember, we got a defensive lineman from the transfer portal from Ohio State that had very little film. That
Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Yep.
Ended up being a beast.
Now, talking about edge again, I brought up John Henry Daly. This guy, talk about production. 56 tackles this past season, 17.5 tackles for loss, 12.5 sacks this past season at Utah, while missing a few games with a torn ACL. That guy was on campus today. I'm going to put up his tape here in a second. That to me, if you can get him, that's a game changer in this portal class. It's kind of already been right now. A lot of people are freaking out. We'll get into a little bit of why here in a second. But
what do you think Bruce meant with his tweet?
What do you mean?
You didn't see Bruce's tweet?
Which one?
The 24 hours.
Not gonna say on live, but
that's okay.
Yeah. Just good news. finally in the past few days, which has been very slow. But thoughts on John Henry Daly and what he could bring to the Notre Dame defense?
Yeah, I think we need a guy that goes opposite of Bubakor. If like we say, Young goes inside, this guy is for me, what I like about him is he reminds me of, this is going to sound tranquil on the D line, like just a guy that has maximum effort every play, will do his best for the team. Riley Leonard on the defensive line, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think he'd be a captain at Notre Dame.
it's weird because the dude's stats are unreal. And the Big 12, it's not like it's a crazy good conference.
It's not a
but
bad conference at all.
17 and a half tackles for loss and 12 and a half sacks, and with missing a few games, that's elite. That's not great. That's not good. That's elite. It does worry me a little bit with the torn ACL, right? Because how explosive is he going to be? How much time does he need to recover?
When was the injury? It was late, right?
It was later in the season, yeah.
I mean, a fall camp comeback. The schedule's easy enough that you can bring them back slowly, kind of like Devontae Smith this year.
Yeah.
Even though
I like
Smith got hurt in Notre Dame, but they kind of.
I like the physicality, and just the intensity he plays with off the edge.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely a guy that you want to have. He would make this portal class insane. Okay. And then we got a few more visitors. One I'll bring up, a quarterback. That's not a position I think a lot of Notre Dame fans brought up as a position of need or interest, I would say, in the portal. Former Mercer quarterback, Braden Atkinson. He was a true freshman last year for Mercer. Won FCS Freshman Player of the Year, the Jerry Rice Award, which goes to the best freshman in FCS. Threw for 3,600 yards, 30 plus touchdowns, 11 interceptions. But he's currently on campus. He's got 3 years of eligibility left. How do you feel about this one? I'm fine with it. You bring him in as a backup. If he comes in as backup, right? Like,
why? Well, not for Notre Dame. Why for him? If you're just freshman of the year, why would you go somewhere that has CJ Carr and then has Gerard coming in, or like you Grubbs, and you have talent? Like, will he see the field? Like, I mean, obviously competitor, go compete, but like you could go somewhere and start right away.
I think it's the process of selling him on the fact that he could sit behind Carr for a year, and then next season he battles it out with Teddy, Gerard, Hebert, and Grubbs for the
If he won
job.
that job, I'd be shocked. Like a FCS quarterback winning that battle, like that'd be insane.
I mean, Trinidad Chambliss was playing at Ferris State or something like that just a few years ago, and now he's leading Ole Miss.
I mean, I'll take it. I take anyone to make the room better, but it's not. It doesn't excite me.
I'm not gonna sit here. I wouldn't sit here and say I'd be super excited if we got Braden, but I think I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, I'll take it if he wants to come here. Cool. Like, I would like it just to be able to have an experienced backup, because that is the one thing. Knock on wood, but if CJ were to get hurt next year in a season that's natty or bust, in my opinion, you have Teddy, who's never played it down. Noah Grubbs, never played it down. Blake Hebert, never played it down. So I would feel more comfortable if you had a guy like Braden who's at least played an entire season of college football.
Chances that Carr leaves after this year, because let me say this:
very high.
Sophomore redshirt. There hasn't been a sophomore redshirt quarterback to leave for the draft since Johnny Manziel. I mean, so like, is he Johnny Manziel? Like, he's really good, but like that, like, come on, man, like, I blow my mind. I think he's great and should, but at the same time, I'm like, come on, come back for one more year.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna be good enough to get drafted next year in the first or second round.
If
He's
you're
already,
second, you should come back. If you're first, fine.
yeah. All right. A few more targets that were on campus today. Xavier Townsend, a former UCF and Iowa State receiver. He is kind of a Jaden Harrison type. He is more of a return specialist than a pure receiver. He's pure speed, right? He's a gadget guy. He had a better season at UCF than he did this past year at Iowa State. But he was also more utilized in the offense at UCF. He was on campus today. Thoughts on Xavier Townsend bringing in a return specialist, kind of like a Jaden Harrison type, to be
I
able to
love
return
it
kicks.
because that
Yeah.
Sugar Bowl, man, we can get that again. I'll take it.
Yeah. So, like, again, I think it's not what we wanted in Ian Strong or Nick Marsh,
Did
right?
we want Ian Strong though?
Yeah, we did. I think we did. Yeah.
I mean, did we want? I mean,
I wanted it.
I
know a lot
Mark.
of people did.
I mean, I did think that Strong was a little overrated. Like I think that there's other options in the portal. I would have liked to had him as the big threat, of course, but there's guys on Notre Dame or in the portal that like Marsh was a big, but for me I was like, there's other people similar that I'd be fine going after.
Yeah. So with Townsend, we've watched his film a little bit here. Outside of being a return specialist, you think he gets any run just in the wide receiver rotation?
Fake punts. See it right now. Like a reverse fake punt. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see. I mean, yeah. I also kind of, not as much as Faison, because Faison was used a lot. I wouldn't like using him on end arounds like UCF used him a lot in. Fake punts for sure. Fake field goals. Like, I think Marty Biaggi gets his hands on
before
Townsend.
You fake them?
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, we do need a kicker in the portal. That's like a dub. Yeah. But yeah. So Xavier Townsend, he was on campus today. Again, he's not necessarily going to have the gaudy stats, a receiver, but one of the better return men in college football. So yeah. And then the final visit that from where's this at? I think that's it, actually. Is that it? Yeah.
Didn't you get a visit from another defensive tackle?
Oh, Xavier Gilliam. Gilliam, my bad. Xavier Gilliam from Penn State.
Yeah.
He was also on campus today. I'll pull this up here. He actually made it to campus, unlike a lot of the portal targets we've had that scheduled visits, right? So here is him on his visit today with his father. So it seems like everything is going good, trending in the right direction for him. He's got 3 years of eligibility left, played 2 years at Penn State, was a rotational guy, rotating with Zane Durant and that Penn State defensive line, which
is
Penn State itself wasn't very good as a team, but that defensive line was one of the best in the nation. So the fact that he was getting reps with and sharing reps with Zane Durant and those guys and Deni Dennis Sutton says a lot. Thoughts on Gilliam?
One of my favorites to get. I wouldn't be surprised if he started if Notre Dame were to land him. Especially with how many of the interior defensive linemen that we missed on, I think this is a must get. I think this is a must. Like, I think we need him. I think we need to grab him.
Yeah. You need defensive line bad. We said this. I
didn't think it would be as big of a need with the Anye fighting for the eligibility, Heinisch medically retiring out of nowhere, but like I didn't think
Yeah.
I knew it would be a need. I didn't think it would be as big of a need.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
after everything, I'm like, wow, this is atrocious, you know. But we need
Yeah, I
to.
think
I
you
have
need
faith. I'm
to.
not. I'm not going to overreact like all these people. We didn't. Right. Of course, you're upset about not landing guys, but the portal's still open for another week. You're going to land some guys in the next 10 days. It'll be fine. We'll get guys that want to come here and want to play and develop. And like, I'm confident in the coaching staff to land the right guys. We've missed on a few. I think epic miss of Marsh. That was a big one. But you know they're going after guys they feel can make the team better. I am surprised that they. I heard it was Notre Dame that the Tulsa tight end they kind of kicked back a little bit. Um, they're being very careful what they bring in. I think that isn't a bad thing. I'd rather not be Florida State 30 people and be picky because we are Notre Dame. All right, go lay down, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Real quick, uh, you kind of briefed on it. So you're not worried about the fact that Notre Dame whiffed on all three of their top targets in Mateen, Ibaragba, John Tez Williams, the number one corner in the portal, and Nick Marsh. You're not concerned at all that Notre Dame got beat out by Indiana, Texas Tech, and
My
USC.
playoff team. USC. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm more upset about it. I mean, there's concern. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to react or overreact until it's done. And then if it's done and it looks like this, I'll have my issues, of course. But there's still time to bounce back from it. Of course, losing Nick Marsh, the number one corner, and then that Wake Forest D tackle. I really wanted that Wake Forest D tackle. For me, that was a huge get if you could land him. Texas Tech has that oil money, man, from Venezuela, and they're ready to
Yeah.
go hard
Uh,
and get some players on their team, and they're moving. So I think that it
yep.
was a good get for them. They beat us for them. Nick Marsh to Indiana. I didn't quite understand when you have CJ Carr, you have a relationship with, and Indiana is losing Mendoza,
Yeah.
but teach their own. I mean, I think some of the young guys are going to get an opportunity. I really do. Could be a good thing. Could be a good thing. CJ Carr can make them look better than we got Faison and Great House, and that's probably it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. An interesting tidbit, real quick on the portal. Preston Zenter, about an hour ago, entered the portal. So that's another young guy that's gone. Thoughts on that?
Talented.
Any
He'll start.
talent? Yeah, I think he'll start
Very
somewhere.
talented. I like him a lot. I think he would start in a lot of places. So just deep linebacker room. But I like him a
Yeah.
lot. I use him a lot in college football. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, and then there was somebody else within the last hour that entered the portal. There was somebody else that entered the portal
Any
earlier.
concern about KK Smith entering the
KK Smith,
portal?
that was it. Yeah, a little bit. I was kind of thinking he could be that boundary receiver if we don't get one in the portal.
I'm thinking. I look at it this way, right? And it was interesting because there was another person in our group chat that said, "I don't know how if to be happy about it or he's like, I don't know how to feel about KK Smith leaving, right? Because on one hand, I think it shows confidence in Cam Williams that maybe he's developed enough now. He's been there for 2 years. Maybe they feel confident now to give him more of a role because KK Smith was one of those guys that was kind of stealing reps from Cam. So it's kind of a two-way street. I liked KK, but he's not, I didn't never really think he was going to be a guy. Like he was going to be the dude at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I agree. He was always a rotation. I see Texas Tech landing him or somebody like TCU or somebody from Texas.
He was, ironically enough, he was originally committed to Texas Tech. So that's definitely possible. But yeah,
back to the D line, because we were talking about concern. Any chance that we see like you talked about Young inside and maybe a transfer starting, but do you see a Vernon or Sean Savillano or somebody like getting like Mookum entering was huge surprise for me because I thought he could get playing time. Do you see Sean or Vernon or anybody getting significant playing time? Like Vernon not transferring says something to me. Like, because I thought he would be a transfer candidate. So
yeah, I did too. I think again, there's so much stuff that like the portal's still open till the 16th, so we could
yeah,
definitely see more. Vernon, I just don't know what happened to that kid. He was such a highly coveted recruit. It's like he's been on the campus since what 22, 23. It's like
this is
just
what his
nowhere to
third
be
fourth.
found. Just can't even get on the field. Not
Sometimes it
even in
takes
like
that when you have a
backup.
deep team.
Yeah. But all right, before we get to the halfway point of the show, it is the college football playoff semifinals are here, and we're going to be doing this new segment on the show by our friends over at FanDuel. We'll be doing a parlay of the week, and our buddy Ben, our co-host Ben, he gave his parlay of the week, so we'll go ahead and do that one.
Had time to make a play, but not join the podcast.
Yeah. So this is Ben's parlay of the week. Pull it up here in a second. So, and we'll give our thoughts on this parlay, anything we like, we dislike. So what he's going with for this week, he is taking IU minus 3.5 over Oregon, and he's also taking Miami money line against Ole Miss. So obviously the odds of that right now, you got your minus 115 taking Indiana minus 3.5.
What's money line
minus
mean?
160.
Like
Money line is basically all Miami has to do is win the game. Minus 3.5 for
wouldn't that
minus,
fucking kill you?
yes.
Sorry, but God, if Miami won a national championship this year after we lost them by 3, I would. Oh man. Sorry, had to mention that. Hurts. Still hurts.
Yeah. So again, with Indiana being minus 3.5, that means they have to. You're giving Oregon 3.5 points to start the game. Indiana has to win by more than 3.5. So again, Ben is taking the Miami money line, which is minus 164, and is taking Indiana minus 3.5, which is minus 115. You go ahead and put that in on FanDuel, put in $5. You double your money if it hits. So again, would you agree with this? Do you think Miami's going to beat Ole Miss? Did we lose you, Sean?
No, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Thinking one or two separate things. Probably. No. Probably.
If you were betting,
Ole Miss anyway, out of hate. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pick it out of hate.
If you were betting, your money is on the line, and you're on FanDuel. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Ole Miss.
Okay. And if you went ahead and did that, the odds are plus 138, right? You take that off. That means you put in $5. So you over triple your money. So that is a better bet by Sean than what Ben's got going on. Now with the other game, are you taking Indiana minus 3.5? What are you doing?
Yeah, I was leaning Oregon earlier in the week, but the more I think about it, I'm going to go with Indiana.
Would you take the money line or would you take the minus 3.5?
Minus 3.5. That game's these are some interesting games. So I'd pick Indiana. It's tough because I think of the 4 teams remaining, Oregon's the best of the 4, but
Yeah.
I trust Signetti more than Lanning, so that's why I'm picking
Yeah.
Indiana.
All right. Well, that has been our parlay of the week
What about
on
you?
Notre
Come
Dame
on.
Primetime Live. Oh, you want me to do it? All right.
Yeah.
If I'm putting my bet slip together, all right, I am also taking the Miami money line, but I'm taking the Oregon money line as well. I think Oregon beats Indiana in the upset. Right? I think it's hard to beat a team twice. I think I would also be open to taking the plus 3.5. Right. I think that's a smart bet. So
Is that
you know what? I'll
harder to
go ahead and
get?
add that. No. Can I not take the money line? I guess I can't take the money line in that. Anyways, but I think beating a team twice is very hard to do. We saw it this year. Every rematch from a game that was played earlier in the season has favored the team that lost the first game. We saw it with Bama and Oklahoma. We saw it with Ole Miss and Georgia. We saw it with Georgia and Alabama.
You saw
Right?
Miami and Notre Dame.
Yeah, I wish. But yeah, so again, that would be my bet. With mine, put $5 in, you win $15. So again, you triple your money. So what I'm hearing on this is take me and Sean's advice, not our local betting expert Ben, because we're tripling your money.
Let
Ben
me
is
say
only
this real
doubling your money.
quick.
Yeah.
You picked Miami, I picked Ole Miss, you picked Oregon, I picked Indiana. Like those are 2 completely different things that if you spent $5 on each bet, you'd
Yeah.
still make profit and guarantee a profit almost, unless
You
it was
would.
like 1 and 1. But like you there's a good chance you could make something if you did both those bets.
Yep. So, anyways, that has been our parlay of the week. If you want to go ahead and get these odds, make sure you go over to FanDuel and get in on the college football playoff action and go win you some money.
Can we do this for in the off season for like baseball and stuff like that?
We can.
Nice.
Yes, we can. Real quick in the comments, just saw that Keeley will be visiting Notre Dame tomorrow. Yep, he will be, or is expected to. How crazy would it be if we got Keeley?
Would be
Very
pretty
crazy. Yeah,
I wouldn't have expected if you would have asked me that a year ago. I would have been like, "Come on."
I'm pretty sure I could probably find a clip from our show 2 years ago when we were talking about Keeley of you saying
Ryan was like, "I don't want that fucker back on my team."
Yeah. Anyways, before we continue, a message from our guy, Mark.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
It is now
I'm
2026.
extremely disappointed in the Voice of College Football. I fully expected this to be ready for 2026, and I've been looking forward to it. We've talked about it for like a month now, and the fact that it's not ready, I'm incredibly disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah, man. If you guys want to be winners for 2026, go over to that and get our boys over at the Voice of College Football's betting advice. It's top tier over there. Anyways, next topic. All right. Notre Dame got a new defensive line coach. And Partridge from Indianapolis. He's got a huge track record, very big track record. He developed J.J. Watt. He won Defensive Line Coach of the Year while at Pittsburgh for, I believe, what was it, 2022 or 23? He's developed some of those great Pittsburgh defensive linemen. So he's got a very great track record. He's been with the Colts the last few years. And there was somebody in the chat, in our group chat, that posted an actual quote from the defensive coordinator at Maryland, who knows Partridge very well. And the quote simply is, he turns lemons into lemonade, even when after those lemons have been thrown away and trashed. So that speaks volumes. I think Notre Dame hit a home run with that after losing.
Grand slam.
Yeah. Hitting a grand slam for the defensive line coach, moving Al Washington to linebackers coach, which was his natural position. Coach, like at Ohio State, other places. What do you think about the hire now that you've kind of heard more about him?
The hire. Yeah, I love it. I think this is, I think he's going to be our second best position coach on the whole team, behind, of course, Mickens. But I think that God is fantastic in a position of need, like especially how thin we are D-line. Like if he can ready those guys. J.J. Watt from Pitt, which had amazing defensive linemen. Like he's just his track record. Like this is as good as a hire as you can get. Probably the best hire you can get. You need to emphasize how important this is. It's probably the best hire you can get at that position for positional coaching. I mean, I can't emphasize enough how important of a hire this is with how thin we are on the defensive line right now, specifically interior. But I think he can turn lemons into lemonade after they're thrown in the trash. Yep. So I think that'll be great. And, Al Washington to linebacker coach, don't know how I feel about it, even though that's his natural position. I probably prefer him there than the defensive line. So let him recruit for both, I guess. But I don't know. I love this hire. I think I'm sure you do too. We would agree this is a slam dunk, grand slam, home run.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, just having the J.J. Watt on the development resume, like that to me in itself makes this a great hire, right? Let me pull this up real quick. There was another quote that was going around by
turns limes into limeade.
Trey Hendrickson was another guy he coached and developed. This was Trey Hendrickson on Partridge as a defensive line coach. I've been blessed to have a lot of great coaches in my life, like Charlie Partridge, who was my head coach at FAU. Absolutely fantastic coach. Plus, he's a good dude. So, that speaks volumes again. You just absolutely hit it out of the park. And we had concerns about Al Washington, right? As a developer, especially on the interior. I think the edge position has been a lot better. But I do find it kind of funny that Al Washington brings in his best defensive line class, and then he gets moved to linebacker coach. Like, Freeman's like, hey, you brought in all these guys. We're not letting you touch them. We're going to bring somebody in that's going to develop them. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's great. It's a great hire. When you have Trey Hendrickson, who's one of the better defensive ends in the National Football League, giving you massive props. Again, that speaks volumes. His track record speaks for itself.
Did he coach Donald?
What year was Donald?
I think he was
Kid.
like early 2010. 2010, 11.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me find this out real quick. Let me see. So his coaching career, he was at Arkansas or from Wisconsin from 2008 to 2012.
Probably
He was at he was at Arkansas 2013. He was at Pittsburgh from 2017 to 2023. He won Defensive Line Coach of the Year in 2023.
nice. Yeah. What?
We get some support from my buddy Cornwall Buttersworth. Absolute madman, Brian Fravel. I am a big fan. Love from Indy. Yeah, this is Cornwall. He is a Penn State fan. So yeah, thank you for your $2, Cornwall. That'll be much appreciated.
That'll save Ben sweatshops while he's not here.
That'll go towards the Cam Coleman fund. Which, by the way, did you see that on Twitter?
No.
Some Notre Dame fan account made a literal GoFundMe or something like that for people to donate to land Cam Coleman from the transfer portal. The dude got $62.80 donated.
I bet he's keeping that.
And then took a screenshot of it and tagged Cam Coleman and say, "Hey, is $62.82 enough?"
Yeah. What if he said yes and committed right then and there? Greatest recruiting fan interaction of all time.
Dedication, man. Dedication. But yeah. So anyways, on to some more news. I know, Sean, you're not the biggest Notre Dame basketball fan, but there was some basketball stuff that happened just a few days ago. Notre Dame played Cal on the road. They were up 4 with, I believe, 8 seconds left. Cal hits a 3. They foul Notre Dame. Notre Dame hits 2 free throws to go up 3. Notre Dame tries fouling. Actually, I could probably find the clip so it's better. Notre Dame tries fouling.
Which is smart.
Up 3. They call... they foul the guy in the process of shooting, right? So a second. There we go. Shrewsberry. Let's see. Ref. Pull this up. Anyway, so guy hits the here, I got the clip right here. Perfect. All right. Anyway, so a guy fouls. We try to foul up 3 so that they just shoot 2 free throws and the game basically over at that point. We foul the guy on a 3-point shot. He makes it. They call it a foul in continuation, so it's 3 shots, or it's 3 and then and 1. So it was going to be a 4-point play. They overturned it to say there was no continuation. The foul was on the floor.
Good.
Then they overturned it again and said, no, it was a foul and it was continuation. Cal hits the free throw. Notre Dame has an opportunity for a game-winning shot. They lose. This is what the aftermath of that was. And let's just say it was absolutely insane to see a head coach do this. Yeah, it was bad. So here's the play. You see this, then Micah Shrewsberry, you see there going after the ref that made the call. Was forced to apologize. The ACC sent a letter of reprimand to the University of Notre Dame and Micah Shrewsberry. Not the best moment in terms of being.
Hey, kudos to him for being passionate.
But thoughts on this? Thoughts on the action? This is the 4th game that Notre Dame has lost this season. They're 10-4.
And 2 of them were heartbreakers. Cal and what was it, TCU?
No, they beat TCU. They lost to Cal, but they also lost to Purdue Fort Wayne.
Yeah, they'd have 2 losses right now if they won these games.
Yeah. So my question is, you haven't made the tournament the last 2 years under Mike Shrewsberry. You're recruiting at an elite level that Notre Dame basketball has not seen ever. You're losing to Purdue Fort Wayne. Your team is very inconsistent while it is very young. And then your coach goes out there and does that. Should he be fired? Or is he on the hot seat? Should he be fired?
Hot seat.
What would you do?
Hot seat. Let him finish the year. You make the tournament, you're good. But after 3 straight years and then you also have that incident, probably fired.
What are your thoughts on him going after the ref in general? Because,
You don't. I mean, I don't agree with going after
Yeah.
the ref. I mean, when I said the passion thing, I'm happy to see he's passionate, but you never, whether you agree with it or not, that's not the way to do it. So,
yeah, I agree with. I'm okay with coaches yelling at a ref, berating a ref from the sideline. We've seen Freeman do it, right? We've seen Freeman snap. But I think the action of physically going after to put your hands on a ref it's just a bad look, right?
Yep.
It's not. I don't know if you've ever really seen a head coach go after a referee physically like that, right? I don't know if I've ever seen that at any level.
Disappointed. I mean, I don't agree with it. I think that was not the way to handle that. Kind of immature, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you're the university, how do you view that through that lens? Seeing clips of that going viral of your head coach who represents your university, who you pay money to, going out there and
do you fire him
doing
on the
that.
spot? Is that what you think?
I don't know if you fire him, but it is I think it's an embarrassing act to
Interesting
do.
part is because he was held back, but devil's advocate, not saying this is my mindset, but the interesting fact is technically he didn't do anything, right? Technically he didn't assault or do any. So there's nothing that because he was held back, which we don't know what would have happened if he was held back. But
so, and to kind of have more context, here is the full sequence of events. Because again, I know you didn't probably get to watch it, but here's the whole sequence of events.
Here comes Ames. Ames weaves his way, gets a shot off, and a chance for four.
He got fouled while he was still up, man.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. Let me see the replay.
Count the basket. They've changed the call with 5.5 seconds.
So they overturned it.
Martin,
they said no, it wasn't.
Has every right to be losing his mind. How is that foul called? The official's arms went up in the air.
It again.
And then they just changed it again.
First the reversal.
Changing it twice.
That foul was definitely before the shot.
Yeah.
What is happening? Now Shrewsberry is losing his mind. On the play, Shrewsberry was imploring his defender to give the foul. That was the intention coming out of the timeout, that we are going to give a foul. We're not going to let them hit the three. It was not given immediately. It was delayed, and then Ames was able to get into the shooting motion.
For the lead, Day Ames.
So then you have this happen.
Notre Dame has a timeout.
And then
here's an opportunity to win the game.
Lob comes in.
Missed the shot.
Plays it up top. Shrewsberry off balance. California.
And then you see Shrews immediately go for the ref.
And a wild sequence over in the corner of the court near the Notre Dame bench.
I saw you apologize.
He did.
I
A few days later, I believe.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
You take another look. It was the throw
Yeah,
to
you
the
can see it. They'll
opposite
show it
corner by
again.
Tout.
Dude
Draws
makes
the
a
defender.
full court sprint
Shrewsberry, one of the best three-point
towards the
shooters
ref.
in the league. And
Dude said we
Shrewsberry
lost. Sprint.
Still
Yeah.
not sure what set him off.
It
Just-
looked like he was going after one of the officials.
His hand was up too. You see that?
Yeah.
Right there is
Yeah.
his frustration on the and one 4-point play by
Just
Never
not-
seen that.
Yeah, I mean,
Not,
that's frustration.
not
but
a best look. Just not a good look. And again, I get it. As a fan watching that game, I was pissed off too. But there's a line you can't cross, and that right there.
Like
yeah,
I said, I
you
love
can't.
the passion for the team, but that's not the way you do it. It's immature. It's shitty. It's not a good look for the university. It's not a good look for yourself. It's just like, how was that your reaction? Like, even if I was upset about something, like when Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M on that last play, you didn't see me sprint up the house, ring my neighbor's doorbell, and try to sock him in the face. Like,
Which arguably that was a more egregious call than what that was. Like,
Yeah.
if we're being honest,
won't
that was the
happen.
right call.
You wouldn't
That
see
was-
me do that. Like, as a person, you don't go to physical stuff like that, and it's atrocious. Like, physical is never the answer. Words, fine. If he shoot him out, I'd be fine. But like the way you sprinted at him, it's fucked up. It's
well, and the
kind
thing
of a
is,
piece
like,
of shit move. I don't agree with it.
you had an opportunity, even if you disagreed with the call, you had an opportunity to still win the game. The last second shot, right? It wasn't like that free throw was made with no time on the clock and you had no opportunity to score. If you hit that shot and you win the game, do you think he still goes after the ref? No. And again, like Freeman, we've seen Freeman go off on refs. I've seen him do it in person, right? We've seen it to where more egregious shit has happened, and Freeman doesn't. That non-holding call, I don't even believe Freeman even brought it up or once complained about it, even though that was fucking egregious and it wasn't called. But like you said, the act of being a grown man who is a professional or supposed to be professional, being that upset, where he literally it looked like he was taking swings at the back of the ref's head. Like you can't do
not
that.
a good look. He should, like the more I view it, and I had my answer. I was like, maybe let him finish out the year because I didn't see the video. After seeing the video, maybe he should be gone, man. What do you think?
It's tough because again, your program has been dog shit the last couple of years. It's been very bad. Ever since Mike Bray left, it's been like even before that, last few years of Mike Bray, the team has just not been very fun to watch. I believe they haven't made a tournament since 2021, right? And before that, they had like a 4 or 5 year drought. And I get it. He had to replace an entire roster when he took over. I believe when he took over that coaching job, Notre Dame had 2 players on scholarship. Like that's a lot to have to fix. He's recruiting at a level we've never seen. But when you lose to Purdue Fort Wayne, and the next week you do shit like this, and it's not that he's had soundbite. He had a soundbite last year where he criticized the fans, Notre Dame fans, for the team not producing or not playing very well. He took shots at fans for not showing up to the games, and he's like, "How do you expect, our guys to, be successful on the court when their own fans don't care to show up?" He said something along those lines, and that rubbed the fan base along the wrong way because people are like, "Well, maybe if you would start winning games, the fans would show up." It seems like it's a very toxic environment. And I saw a Notre Dame fan bring up an interesting point about this. Acting like that makes it seem like you lack any sort of control.
Yeah.
How do we expect you to have control of the locker room and of a team when you can't control yourself?
He probably won't after that. What do you think the players are thinking right now?
I don't know how you. I don't know how
Rally
you bounce. Like you play Clemson Saturday at Clemson. It's their third ACC game. You've had a week to
behind
dwell
the
on it.
season now going.
Yeah, it's not great. Sloppy Joe says, "Yep, Marcus Freeman knew that call didn't lose the game." Yeah.
I mean, it
It did, but there were other things. Should have never been hired in the first place. Ironically enough, he didn't have issues like this at Penn State. He's arguably the best Penn State basketball coach Penn State ever.
I will say with reps real quick, I have friends that have the mindset of refs don't cost you games because that one play, there was the whole game being played. I get that. I do slightly have the opinion of the ref cost you at that moment, but I'd rather a no call than a call to lose the game. Like Florida State costing you the game, but I'd rather the no call, especially if no calls are throughout the game. But I understand the ideas of you had 100 other plays and you couldn't execute it. So I get it that the ref didn't cost the game. And same there. You should have made other shots, right? We had a game-winning opportunity right after.
Yeah, maybe don't foul a guy when he's in the process of shooting. Like if the whole point, right, is to, and it's a smart decision to foul up 3 when you've got like 6 seconds left, right? It's a smart decision. It's smart coaching decision. But it's not executed right when you let them get it up the floor and you wait to foul them until they're already in a shooting motion.
Yeah.
That's not great coaching. That's not great execution. That's on you, right? And then again, would I have been pissed if I saw a call get overturned twice in the span of a minute? Yeah. But again, you had 3 seconds to get a quality shot off and you missed.
Yeah.
So again, it is what it is. We'll see what happens going forward the rest of the season. I would not be shocked if it does end up going the way you say, where it plummets. He may not make it past the end of this year. Anyways, friend of the show, Lucas, he's a big Oregon fan. Y'all are getting Jaden Lamar. I am good on Jaden Lamar.
He entered the portal?
Yeah, he did.
What has he done at Oregon? 2 carries for 10 yards?
I don't think he's done very much. So
yeah. Thanks.
I'm good.
No thanks.
Give me Aeneas Williams and Nolan James and Keidron Young. We're good. But
yeah.
Anyways, guys, that's all the topics for tonight. Oh, what's up?
Burnham to Indiana. Kenny Minchie flipping from Nebraska to Kentucky.
Yeah. I guess we'll talk. We can talk about it.
Minchie do at Kentucky? I thought Nebraska was a perfect landing spot.
What did you think about the people, or what did you think about the whole Kenny situation where he was committed to Nebraska, told the staff he was committed, and then
I think it's bullshit.
Turns around
they stop targeting other quarterbacks, and then after a day or two, they close all that, and then you leave them like that. That's fucked. That was a shit move.
What do you think about Kentucky paying him $2 million?
Get your money, Kenny Minchie. But I mean, Nebraska would have given him some money too. But I think he would have done better. I see him more as a Nebraska quarterback than Kentucky quarterback. Like Kentucky, congrats, you're going 8-4, 7 at best. I could have seen him winning 10 games at Nebraska. I could have.
I think the offensive system at Kentucky under Will Stein fits him more than Nebraska's offensive system. I don't think that's crazy to say.
Yeah, but I think opponents and overall team success-wise differ. I think Nebraska is better as a team than Kentucky.
What do you make about Joshua Burnham? I think it's funny, Indiana fans being like, "Oh, well, you sent us Pat Coogan, or we stole Pat Coogan from you."
Dude, Burnham's going to go off for
Burnham.
Indiana next year. I think he's going to be a starter for them, and he's going to contribute right away, and he's going to be solid.
Indiana sure loves their.
Yeah. How do you win championships? You get guys from Notre Dame, because they can't win it at Notre Dame, but they'll win it elsewhere.
Yeah. Joshua Burnham. So we just, I think Indiana's our feeder school, or not our feeder school. We are Indiana's feeder school. We have guys that aren't gonna start. We'll send them to Indiana, and they'll somehow do something. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's all the topics we have for tonight. Another great show. We'll be back again next week. Hopefully
probably with some commits by then to talk about.
Probably with some commitments from the portal. Let's hope. Good vibes, good news. Anyways, I have been your host, Ryan Favell, with my co-host Sean at Indy Forever on Twitter. This has been the Notre Dame Primetime Live on the Voice of College Football Notre Dame YouTube channel, presented by FanDuel. I appreciate all 437 of you tuning in tonight. As always, guys, we will see you next week. Stay safe and go Irish.